Hi, I'm PJ McTavish and welcome back to another DCG Predictions video, because it is that time of year again and I love this comment, #fear the return, because once I start making videos again, you know it's not too long before your DCG exam. Again, like all these, if you've seen any of my other prediction videos, you're going to know that, first of all, I'll start off with a disclaimer, because DCG is unpredictable. You just can't predict it. One or two topics I did predict came up, but only like one per year, so just bear that in mind. Now, when it comes to DCG, obviously Section C, you know what's coming up. A and B, it's over the entire syllabus, so there is no way to predict it. They don't put any predictability into the paper. Nothing comes up 2 years in a row, apart from maybe axiometric that came up 3 years in a row. But mostly, it's fairly random. So this is just my opinion on what might come up from looking back over the past couple of years. So again, the main reason for this video is from these comments you see up on the screen now. So handful of comments look for a prediction for this year's paper. I've done one, there's been my third one, I did one for 18 and for 17. So we'll see how this one goes. Hopefully this one is a bit better in predicting what comes up than past two were. So let's start off with Section A. Now in Section A, the topics I'm looking at is perspective, intersection of solids, solids in contact, and possibly an projection systems question, like orthographic projection system. So what I mean by that is, perspective and intersection of solids, straightforward enough. We haven't seen them in a while, so it's a possibility that might come up with Section A. Also, solids in contact. Like I've mentioned this a couple of times, because solids in contact, it's a core topic. We haven't seen it in a while. Like last time it came up in Section A was back in 2009, 2011, and 2013. So 2013 was the last time it has come up in Section A. So it's a good while ago, so I'm expecting that there's a possibility that might come up again. The projection system question, I'm sure you all know what I mean by that, but I'll just quickly go through it if you don't. So I'll have a few images pop up here now showing you what I mean. So the projection systems is basically your orthographic projection. You have an elevation plan in view, and you might have to complete one of the views. Like one year is a Rubik's Cube, and then afterwards you had to show the smallest possible packaging you could fit within. Or there was the goals, the elevation plan in view of the goals, and you had to find the path of 2 penalties that were kicked. So something like that, because that hasn't come up in a while. Also in Section A, just as a little comment, is axiometric might possibly come up again. So it's come up 2 years in a row in Section A. Came up last year, came up the year before, so 2017, 2018. And the possibility of coming up again 3 years in a row. Now, it doesn't seem likely, but I remember I did say before in Section B, axiometric came up 2 years in a row. I was very surprised. I said, there's no way it's going to come up again. And of course, it came up again in the third year. So in 2013, 14, and 15, axiometric came up as a long question in Section B. So that came up 3 years in a row. So what's the chances they'll do an axiometric short question 3 years in a row? Again, your guess it might be as good as mine on that. So that's Section A. Just recap again: perspective, intersection of solids, solids in contact, and an orthographic question, orthographic or projection system question. Possibly axiometric 3 years in a row. I'd be very surprised, but then again, I was before when it came up three years in a row in Section B. So that's what I think for Section A. Now for Section B, now what you might find is I tend to do as well in some of these predictions, looking back over the pattern, what's come up, I'll end up predicting possibly the same topics for A and B. But for B, I'm looking at axiometric, intersection of solids again, and possibly another orthographic projection question. So when it comes to axiometric, it hasn't come up in a long question Section B since 2015. In 2015, it was a half axiometric, half intersection of solids. So this possibility might come up again as a single question. Or maybe they might realize that it's kind of pretty handy question that they might not always leave it as the core topic. They might combine it with another, like they did that time with intersection. Then intersection of solids, the last time that's come up is in that 2015 kind of combination question. But on its own, it hasn't come up since 2012. So, and that's a lovely question, a lovely core DCG question. So that came up 2012, 2011, but it hasn't come up since, and 2009. So it hasn't come up since on its own since 2012. So that's why I'm kind of looking at intersection for Section B. Then the orthographic, again, kind of like Section A, what I mean by that is, if you look at 2016 question B3 or 2017 question B1, that kind of projection system question. I can't remember which one of those was which, but there was one where it was a satellite, and it was the beam of the satellite down on Earth, and you had to show the elliptical curve that it made in contact with the globe. So something like that, where it's elevation plan in view and auxiliary views. So there's possibly that coming up, because again, in section B, an auto question came up in 2016. Okay, so there wasn't one last year, and there was one year before. Now, corner geometry has come up 2 years in a row. Corner geometry came up 2018 and 2017. It was last year and the year before. Don't expect that to come up 3 years in a row. It's because corner geometry, I feel, are a nice question. So I can't see them putting them on 3 years in a row. So just to recap there, section B, my thoughts on it is that we might see axonometric, intersection of solids, and possibly a orthographic kind of projection system question. Now, technically, you could say was it a lunchbox or Happy Meal box last year with the Mario, the developments question? Technically, that's a projection system question. So that was there last year. So maybe I'm a bit off of that, but that's my opinion. Axonometric, intersection, possibly projection system question. Now for section C. So section C, again, section C, as I said at the start, it's your own. It is predictable because you know what topics are coming up in each one, which are road geometry, surface geometry, and so on. So you are choosing what you want to do there. So there isn't anything really to predict there. The only thing I tend to predict or try to predict is the section C, question C4, the dynamic mechanisms question, because there is a range of topics there that can pop up, from loci to cam to spirals to the helix, etc. This year, what I think might come up possibly is a loci at the start, and then possibly a cam question as well. So loci or cam. Now looking back, last year we had a linkage and an Archimedean spiral. The year before that, then we had a cam and a linkage. Then you had Archimedean spiral, loci, so on and so forth. So linkage, cam, etc. and so on when you look back. So we haven't had a proper cam question since 2017. So it's a possibility that might come up again this year. I don't expect a helix to come up because technically you had a bit of a helix in last year's one. And then a loci. We haven't had a loci since 2016. So a loci where you have your, now it won't just be a simple circle moving along a path. It'll be like it has been come the years, where it's a I think there was a mock question I have up there where it was a lorry reversing, and as the lorry was reversing, the back was tipping upwards. Also that we've had, I think it was back in 2009, maybe a long time ago, we had the blocks for the pyramid being transported on logs. So as the log moved a certain amount of a rotation, you had to show where the log had moved to. So expect a loci question, but having said that, expect it to be, again, everything with DCG, it's never going to be the bare bones question. They're always going to try and throw you off or try and really test your understanding of the topic. So I expect a loci and a cam question, but don't expect them to be straightforward. Like with the cam, again, you need to know all your movements, your UAV, your simple harmonic motion, and so on. But expect something like maybe they'll give you the profile, and you have to work off the profile to give you your displacement diagram. So they'll try and switch it around on you. Like if you look at any of the past exam paper questions, you'll know what I mean. So section C, we're looking at, I think in section C, question C4 in dynamic mechanism, loci and a cam question. Now, also having said now, section C as well, just remember that if you understand corner geometry well, that your surface geometry question, I think it's question C3 off the top of my head, is a lovely question if it's the roofing question that comes up on it, as opposed to your developments, because it's exactly the same as corner geometry, except for they might leave out a height and you just have to go through your two auxiliary views to work backwards. So look at that as maybe an extra choice if you're going to do, like my classes do, dynamic mechanisms and assemblies. Look at surface geometry as well, given that it's very similar to corner geometry. Now, that is my predictions for 2019. Again, as I said at the start, it's a DCG is unpredictable. Don't think this is the letter of the law. Like, you should have your syllabus pretty much well covered, or all the topics well covered, and this is just hopefully a bit of a help to you, and hopefully any of these topics do come up so you have a bit of a heads up. But again, don't rely on this, and don't expect that everything I say to come up, because as I said, if you look back on my 2008 or 2017, actually if I look back on it myself, 2018, I predicted skew lines in section A. It's a short question, and then a linkage in question C4, and that was it. So all my section B wasn't predicted, and then the rest is section A. So again, I hope this helps. I hope it does come up, but don't rely on it. And as I said, if you look back at my other ones and look back what came up, you'll see what I mean. Well, if you see here in the comments I put up on screen, someone has suggested that of doing a live stream at the end of the exam, so that chat can discuss, or that you can discuss amongst yourselves how you got on with the paper. I'd always do a paper review anyways as a video, so I might, and as you see from the two tests that are up on the page, I was messing around with live streaming to see. So your DCG exam is on is on Thursday the 20th, from 9:30 to 12:30. So I might do a live stream that evening of the 20th, probably around 7 or 8 in the evening. And I might use that as my review. As I said before, normally you do a video on it, but I might just live stream. That way I can discuss the paper. You can give me responses if the 2 or 3 people tune into it, and even amongst yourselves in the chat. So I might play a bit of PUBG on the laptop, although I'm pretty shy at it. So we'll see how we get on. So that's what I might do. I might live stream that. And as I said, you see from my channel, I was messing around with it to have a look and see what I could do. If there's any particular video or a particular question you'd like to see me do that I haven't done already, most ones I haven't done probably from last year's paper. So if there's any question you want to see done, just so either leave a comment underneath this video or one of the previous ones. I'll normally see most of the comments. So as always, good luck in your exams. I'll have a couple of videos up. I'll try and record a few and have at least one video daily for the next week or so. And I hope they help. So again, lastly, best luck in your exams, and we'll see you in the next video.